Pope's Communications Day message: Disarm communication to foster hope and unity. On the World Day of Social Communications, Pope Francis releases his annual message, in which he calls for a transformation in the way we communicate. In a world characterized by disinformation and polarization, as a few centers of power control an unprecedented mass of data and information, it is ever more urgent, writes Pope Francis, to disarm communication and purify it of aggression. In his message released to mark the 59th World Day of Social Communications, the Pope notes that too often today, communication generates not hope, but fear and despair, prejudice and resentment, fanaticism, and even hatred. Lamenting the fact that communication often simplifies reality to provoke instinctive reactions, using words as weapons and spreading false or distorted information, he warns that such practices create division and prevent the possibility of building genuine hope. All conflicts start when individual faces melt away and disappear. We must not surrender to this mindset. The risks of aggressive communication. The Pope highlights several troubling trends in modern communication, including a tendency towards competition and domination that prevails in many forums. From television talk shows to verbal attacks on social media, there is a risk that the paradigm of competition, opposition, the will to dominate and possess, and the manipulation of public opinion will prevail, he writes. Identifying an enemy to lash out against appears indispensable as a way of asserting ourselves. This approach, the Holy Father says, erodes community and undermines the common good. And warning against the programmed dispersion of attention caused by digital systems that prioritize market-driven profiling, he explains that this phenomenon fragments interests, weakens social bonds, and hampers our ability to listen and empathize. The result, he says, is a society increasingly isolated, incapable of collaborative action, and urgently in need of hope. Hope is the antidote. Hope, the Pope continues, referencing the gospel message in the current Jubilee year, is not an easy virtue but a risk that must be taken. Drawing on the words of French author and World War I soldier, Georges Bernanos, who called hope a hidden virtue, tenacious and patient, he points out that for Christians, hope is essential and transformative. As Pope Benedict XVI notes in his encyclical Salvi, the one who has hope lives differently, the one who hopes has been granted the gift of a new life. The one who hopes has been granted the gift of a new life. Thus, Pope Francis urges Christian communicators to always be ready to make their defense to anyone who demands from them, in accounting for the hope that is in them, yet do it with gentleness and reverence. 1 Pet 3:15-16.